You won't believe what happened when a billionaire returned home earlier than expected, and what he saw left him frozen in the doorway, his heart racing, unsure if he should scream, cry, or walk away forever. But before I tell you the shocking truth of what he witnessed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because this story is one you will never forget. His name was Alexander Hayes, a self-made billionaire known for his towering presence in the business world, his sharp suits, and his relentless work ethic. At only 39 years old, Alexander had built an empire of hotels, resorts, and restaurants across the world. But behind the polished photographs in Forbes magazines and the handshakes at international summits, he was also a man who carried loneliness in his chest like an unspoken burden. His marriage to Isabella, a woman of unmatched elegance and grace, had once been his anchor, the reason he believed in happiness beyond wealth. They had been married for 7 years, and in the early days, love between them was like wildfire, passionate, consuming, and unstoppable. But as his empire grew, so did the distance. Business trips, late nights, and endless phone calls slowly replaced candlelit dinners, laughter in the kitchen, and lazy Sunday mornings in bed. Isabella had often told him, "Alex, money builds houses, but love builds homes." And though her words stung, he always promised, "Just a little longer, Bella. Let me secure everything for us, and then I'll come home." But that little longer stretched into months, and then years. One evening, after a grueling business deal overseas, Alexander made an impulsive decision. His schedule said he was supposed to stay 2 more days abroad, but something in his heart tugged him back. He booked the earliest private flight, determined to surprise Isabella, imagining her radiant smile when she opened the door. He pictured her running into his arms, her laughter filling the cold, empty spaces of their mansion. For once, he wanted to prioritize her over everything else. As his car rolled through the familiar iron gates of his sprawling estate, a strange unease pricked his chest. The house, usually dim and lifeless when he returned late, was lit brightly. Music floated faintly from within, not the kind of elegant symphonies Isabella usually played, but something lighter, more cheerful, almost playful. He frowned but brushed it off, thinking maybe she was entertaining a friend or indulging in a rare carefree moment. Stepping inside, Alexander loosened his tie and called out softly, "Bella? It's me. I'm home early." Silence answered him. No footsteps, no excited gasp, no loving embrace. Instead, laughter drifted from the living room, warm and melodic. His heart clenched. Was she entertaining guests without telling him? He walked slowly, each step echoing on the marble floor, until he reached the wide archway leading into the room. And then, his entire world tilted on its axis. There, in the center of the lavish living room, sat Isabella. She wasn't alone. On the floor beside her was a young boy, no older than 6, with dark curls that mirrored Alexander's own when he was a child, and eyes that sparkled with a mischief he hadn't seen in years. Isabella's head was thrown back in laughter as the boy playfully tickled her sides. Her face glowed in a way Alexander hadn't seen in years, not with diamonds, not with luxury, but with pure joy. The billionaire stood frozen, his briefcase slipping from his hand and hitting the floor with a loud thud. Isabella's laughter stopped instantly. She turned, her eyes wide, her smile fading as she saw her husband standing there. The boy looked up curiously, blinking at the stranger in the doorway. "Alex," Isabella whispered, her voice trembling. Who is that?" Alexander's voice cracked, his finger pointing at the child who looked so much like him that it sent a shiver down his spine. Isabella rose to her feet slowly, her hands trembling as she reached for the boy. The child clung to her dress, half hiding behind her. "Alex, please, let me explain." Alexander's chest tightened, his mind racing through every possible explanation, an affair, a betrayal, a secret life Isabella had hidden from him. Rage and heartbreak battled inside him, but he couldn't tear his eyes away from the boy. That face, it was like looking into a mirror of his own past. "Explain?" Alexander's voice rose, his composure cracking. Isabella, I leave for a few weeks, and I come home to this? Who is he? Tell me the truth. Tears welled in Isabella's eyes as she clutched the boy protectively. You weren't supposed to see him like this. Not yet. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how. Alexander staggered back, shaking his head in disbelief. Tell me what? That you have a son with someone else? That while I've been breaking my back to build a life for us, his voice broke before he could finish. Alex. Isabella interrupted sharply, her voice breaking through his anger. He's not someone else's child. He's yours. The room fell into stunned silence. Alexander's world spun, the weight of her words crashing down on him like thunder. That boy, his son? His heart pounded, his breath caught in his throat. Isabella's tears flowed freely now as she continued, I didn't tell you because you were never here. I carried him, raised him, loved him while you chased the world. I wanted to wait until you were ready to be a father, until you could see what really mattered. But time kept slipping away, and I didn't know if you'd ever come home long enough to care. The little boy peeked out from behind Isabella, his wide eyes studying Alexander carefully. Mommy, who is he? The child asked innocently. Isabella knelt down, her voice trembling. He's your father. The word sliced through Alexander's chest like a blade. He stumbled forward, staring at the boy, his son, his flesh and blood, and felt 1,000 emotions crash within him, anger, regret, guilt, and an unfamiliar yearning he couldn't put into words. He had missed everything. His son's first cry, his first steps, his first words. All stolen by the empire he thought was worth everything. And now, he stood at the doorway of a life that had gone on without him. His knees felt weak, his throat burned, and his eyes, those cold, distant eyes that had faced billion-dollar deals without flinching, blurred with tears. For the first time in years, Alexander Hayes, the billionaire admired by millions, was just a broken man staring at the truth he couldn't run from. But this was only the beginning. Because what Alexander chose to do next would not only define his marriage, but his entire life. Would he fight for the family he didn't know he had, or would he let his empire swallow him whole? Alexander stood frozen, staring at the boy who carried his features so clearly that denial was impossible. His chest ached with regret as memories of missed years clawed at him. For so long, he had chased wealth, believing it was the ultimate gift he could give his wife. But here was the real treasure, his son, living under the same roof all along, a treasure he had unknowingly ignored. Isabella's voice trembled as she said, he deserves to know you, Alex. He deserves a father. Her words cut deeper than any boardroom defeat ever could. Slowly, Alexander knelt, lowering himself to the boy's eye level. His voice cracked as he whispered, Hi. I'm your dad. The boy studied him, hesitant, then reached out a small hand. That touch shattered the walls Alexander had built around his heart. Tears streamed down his face as he pulled his son into his arms, feeling both the weight of loss and the miracle of second chances. Isabella's tears flowed too, but this time they were mixed with relief. For the first time in years, Alexander wasn't thinking about meetings, contracts, or profits. He was thinking about family. He vowed silently that nothing, not his empire, not his pride, would steal another moment from them. Life had given him a shocking twist, but also a chance to rewrite his story. And this time, he would not fail. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story if it touched your heart.